I'm currently working as a lead teacher of Chinese language teaching at Al Surur Kindergarten, a public school in Abu Dhabi. In the past 10 years, I have been spending a large amount of time on education and continuously learning and improving myself. At each period of the work, I have gained new cognition and improvement, each of which represented my growth at different stages and gradually led me to the position of lead teacher so far. When I started teaching Chinese language at Hamdan bin Zayed School as a new teacher 6 years ago, I did face some great challenges. For a long time, I tried different classroom teaching strategies and designed many teaching activities that students are interested in, which helped them overcome the obstacle of learning Chinese. 2 years later, I was recognized by our school leadership as a potential leader, which I guess it might be due to some of my typical characteristics on the basis of trait theory. Trait theory of education assumes that the leader's personal traits are the key to leadership success, which seeks personality, social, physical, or intellectual characteristics that differentiate leaders from non-leaders. I'm confident and good at communicating with others. In my work, I can flexibly deal with various unexpected teaching situations and enable to discuss and solve problems in a group of people. So soon after, I was chosen to be the coordinator of Chinese teaching. It was then that my impression of leadership had changed. In the early stage, I was influenced by the leadership model of the school. The school leadership constantly brought in and updated new ideas and teaching theories by encouraging teachers to attend various training meetings, which finally made great changes across the school. Later, with the favorable teaching environment and the strong support of school leadership, I had more opportunities to attend the meetings with different groups of teachers to discuss teaching strategies. And gradually, we formed a highly collaborative team together. Our school leadership type at that time is very much the instructional model that set high expectations and standards for the academic and social development of all students and the performance of teachers. It created a culture of continuously learning for teachers connected to students' learning and other school goals. With that experience, I was transferred to Al Surur Kindergarten a few years later as lead teacher, which is the school where I'm working now. Here, I met another transformational leadership model that leaders and followers engage each other and rise to new levels of motivation, morality, and performance, which brought me great impact. The leaders in our school offer a purpose that transcends short-term goals and focuses on higher-order intrinsic needs. The purpose of leaders and followers start out separate and then become fused. In our school, we are encouraged to learn, be creative, and explore new ways of teaching, and teachers and leaders are bound together. This style of leadership is different from what I have experienced before, and it has changed the way I worked and further developed my abilities as a leader. I used to talk a lot in meetings, but now I listen. I used to give a lot of advice, but now I ask questions. These changes in working methods have also brought me great progress and improvement in my career. Moreover, there have been many people who have inspired me throughout my career. Sophia, a Chinese head of faculty in my previous school, was one of them. She is a leader who pursues lifelong learning and has greatly influenced my working attitude. Her leadership style is inspiring because she advocates correctly adjusting her behaviors contingent on situational forces, which means that her actions on the Fiedler's contingency theory of trying to match leaders to appropriate situations are very effective. On the contrary, in my previous working experience, I also worked with an English director who was very serious and responsible for her work. However, her leadership style was very powerful and somewhat parallel to the Max Weber bureaucratic model that leaders expect employees to display a formal, businesslike attitude in the workplace and between each other. So, if I'm asked who I aspire to be as an educational leader, my answer will be a leader that Ronald Heifetz mentioned in his book, the one who mobilizes and engages the people with faith to tackle tough challenges and do adaptive work to achieve and progress. I deeply agree with Ronald Heifetz's statement that leadership is a practice, not a position of authority. Based on his theory of adaptive leadership, I'm impressed by the 4 key principles he put forward. I aspire to be a leader who is able to recognize my own feelings and those of others. With this ability, leaders can build a trusting relationship with their team and form a good working atmosphere. I aspire to be a leader that is able to effectively acquire and use knowledge. Knowledge integration has become very important nowadays. Leaders should be aware of what their team knows and what they lack. In this way, they can filter, store, and integrate effective knowledge resources for team members. I wish to be a leader with organizational justice who always holds attitude of honesty. An adaptive leader should take into account the feelings and views of others and ensure that everyone in the team is valued and respected. I also aspire to be a leader with strong perseverance and innovative spirit. They may not always be right, but they need to be adventurous and innovative and keep practicing their strategies. Heifetz's theory of adaptive leadership matches well with my aspiration as a leader. So, what are the implications for me? As mentioned above, leaders should be adaptable for meeting different challenges. I will keep learning and keep accumulating knowledge to adapt to the changing environment. The other implication is also challenging, that I need to learn through my self-correction and reflection. There will be failures due to the practice of leadership, but these failures will serve the future well. I will identify the wrong practices and make self-correction in time to find out effective solutions. My abilities as leader teacher have improved dramatically in my school, and I will continue to devote myself to work and set new goals to accomplish my further career development.